they're Austrians. And the rest of the Aerie, most of the Northern Aerie, I think all the Saxon, the group with the Saxons in it can all form Germany. But there's just problems when it comes to that. Prussia has ideas like that. I believe the Teutons have ideas like that, but Teutons are also Prussians. Bohemia has ideas like that, and there are several other ones.
One of the things that would definitely make me nervous in this sort of scenario, you're against players who can be ruthless and you're playing at a relatively high speed, is bringing down the maintenance slider for military, which is usually a no-brainer. In fact, often I'm quite comfortable going all the way to 0. But I don't know if I could be able to do that in this situation.
But diplomatic relations, that's a pretty good one there by Bohemia. He's trying to choose whether or not he's going to go for diplomatic relations over time or diplomatic reputation. Now, diplomatic relation over time, I personally think is the best one because it reduces your aggressive expansion so much quicker.
Ah, is that what it does?
Yes.
So all those things that burn off over time, that helps bring that up.
Yes.
Does it also help you when you're doing an improved relations?
I don't. No, that's. But yeah, that should give you additional bonus for that as well. Basically, all diplomatic impacts. Anything involving diplomats. There's no, we don't actually have a tooltip that hovers over that. I think we should add that just to make it clear, because what the actual bonuses do from the advisors, together with some functions of the trade system, are the least transparent functions in the game at the moment, and we're looking to actually make that more transparent to show people to know what they actually do.
Right. So on that topic, could you explain the diplomatic relations or relationship?
Well,
or reputation. That's the one I'm looking for. Sorry.
I actually don't know.
It seems to give you a persistent bonus to most decisions if you have a positive diplomatic reputation.
Right.
When you're looking at the math of whether someone will agree or not.
I haven't actually asked the development team what it actually does, but it seems to be fairly accurate, and it's just one of those things that we're going to need to add in. Offensive ideas. What are we going to get?
So it's currently at leader shock +1.
All right, that's always a good one.
Now that only applies if you actually need to have a leader with the army.
You need to have a leader in your army, yes. And if you start at the start of the game, you only get one leader, or else it's going to cost you military points a month.
Yeah, and I find that very, very rough to deal with.
Yes.
On the other hand, you don't tend to have huge army stacks, so usually you can just have one doom stack and not worry about attrition too much.
No, especially not at the start of the game. Lithuania, Muscovy started with significant stacks, and of course Austria with their 40,000 man army. And I'm actually quite surprised that the King of Burgundy hasn't died.
Yeah, I don't know. World is now, if the King of Burgundy dies with an heir, it will not trigger the Austrian inheritance. It's at any point that
there is a chance if you get a royal marriage with Burgundy as any other nation, that you can inherit it as well. There's a chance modifier there. But if you're playing as Burgundy, it's actually quite a lot of fun because there's a whole event chain applied to getting an heir.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's one, for instance, where you find a baby in like a basket on the water in like the reeds, and are you going to adopt him? And then you get like an heir, that sort of thing. But then it's a weak heir, basically.
Yeah, I suppose it would be.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of weak heirs, and then all the way down the line, like you have a son, and he's a 555, and you've gone through the entire chain, and it's awesome. And before you die, basically.
So the difference between a heir with a strong claim and a weak claim, is it just that they come in with a different base legitimacy when they inherit?
And also any royal marriages can claim the throne because it's a weak claim.
Right. Now, the claim of throne is something you actively have to do from the diplomatic screen. You have to click that button.
You need to go in and say, "You have a royal marriage with us. I want to. You have a weak leader, or you have you have no leader at all. I'm going to claim your throne." You always need to have higher prestige than the nation you're trying to claim. That's one. And then you can claim the throne and call in your allies, go to war, and then they become your super vassal, basically. And that's what's currently going on in the game with Denmark and the union that's currently going on in Scandinavia.
Now, because the claim throne button by itself does not trigger the war. It gives you the CB.
Yes, it gives you the CB.
So with just the claim throne button by itself, first of all, it hurts your relationship with anyone else you've got a royal marriage. And what else? Does it just put you in line in case the ruler dies without an heir to take over, or does it do anything clicking that button?
Well,
what does it do?
It allows you to claim the throne, and you have the CB.
It just gives you the CB.
Yes, and also there's also the impact. Any royal marriages you will have will be impacted as well. Any other royal marriages, I think it's like a -70 because you've claimed the throne, and if you have the proper advisors, then you can get like a -3 or -4 per month on that one. So it's over in like 2 years later. They don't even care anymore.
Still, I can see why they get legitimately pissed off.
Well, that's what happened with Hamlet. So.
There's a lot of actions in there that will affect a certain class of diplomatic relationships. For example, annexing a vassal will give you a malice with other vassals. And I always perceive that as being, maybe they're not actually pissed. They just, worried about
losing. Why not us?
Yeah, that's it. It's like, what, you like those guys more than us?
Exactly, right?
It's like, no, you don't understand. I can't annex you for another 5 years. I'm still waiting.
It's like, why? Sorry, that's how it works. Like, it makes no sense. That's interesting.
The Ottomans have a lot of, I'm trying to see. Crete has a bunch of Orthodox ones. I can't see what the actual rebels are in the Ottoman.
Could we actually see an Orthodox Ottoman Empire?
Well, I have a Sunni Byzantine Empire in one of my games.
You told me about this.
Yeah.
What is your theory?
Well, I assume that the Ottomans had a lot of rebellions, and some people may have split off to the Byzantines, but after the religious shift, so that caused the Byzantines to have religious rebels and then forced conversion. That's what I assumed the process was, but I actually have to go through the saves and see what happens step by step. I was actually doing it as Let's Play. I just wasn't looking at the region at that time. I was too busy, I don't know, invading the Americas.
As you do.
As you do.
As you do. So do you play with a lot of, what speed do you play? Like speed 2, or do you like to speed things up between times when nothing's going on? Do you like to micromanage?
Well, I suppose there are two different styles. One depends on if I'm recording and one if I'm playing solo.
Right.
Certainly I play a lot faster when I'm playing solo because I don't have to think about what I'm saying, but I tend to play in kind of almost a turn-based style.
Right.
Very stop and go.
It's like super risk, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, Venice, what happened? I see. You're massively overextended. And you have a lot of rebels.
It's fine.
It's only 80%.
It's okay. It only gives me a huge penalty to my trade modifiers in foreign lands.
Exactly.
The trade's not important as Venice anyway.
No, exactly.
No one cares about that.
And the additional rebel uprising by like 27% doesn't punch you in the gut either. So
that's the worst, when the second group of rebels pop up in the same zone.
Yes, and then this all of a sudden is like, oh, this stack.
Like 25. What am I doing?
I'm gonna leave them alone for a little while and just go over here, and all of a sudden another stack pops up. And like, oh my God, there is 40 of them. How am I ever going to deal with this?
Especially on an island. And we just had someone up here cheer. What nation are you? What made you so happy?
Playing Bohemian, I just messed up Brandenburg a bit, so I'm on a roll right now.
Excellent.
I was in a very big decline after the failed war here against Austria-Hungary early on. Completely wiped out and pretty bankrupt, but lately I've been doing better. And
Now, did you go actually bankrupt, or?
Yeah, no, I was at 0, and my prestige was at like -50, and everything was really bad.
Really bad.
And now just things are smiling.
You're doing fine?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
That's good.
Now,
I'm actually looking over at Portugal. Portugal, could you go to diplomatic map mode for me? Just because I'm looking down. Is it really bad? Do you just have Porto and that's it? Oh, that's not that bad.
Oh, no. Everything's fine. Nothing's to worry about.
All right. nothing to see there. Like Morocco only owns everything but 2.
I'm curious to know who's the most indebted, because so many early wars can devastate an economy.
Let's take a look, shall we?
And then, I mean, I know we're only playing for 2 hours. What's that? The highest inflation, which we can see in the ledger. From the, I think there's an economy option. Oh, right, we don't have our own ledger.
Yeah, we don't have our own. Johan, we can't interact with the game.
Yeah, go to Johan's. There we go.
There it is. Oh.
Inflation, 9% Denmark.
Denmark, you've got an income of 10.
The next player.
Do you have any advisors?
Yes, I'm severely overextended and I can't afford, so my trade income is...
Yeah, it goes like minus 150. Yeah.
Rebel uprising taken over Leibeg while they were like a 50% war construction.
Did you crush them with your Johan fist?
No, I lost.
Oh, well, that's not good.
So I lost 250 admin.
Oh. 250 admin power.
To me, admin points are the most important. The way that I play, and I recognize that military power is really important for the military tech. But
I always tend to get way too far ahead. I never get any military ideas. Rarely get them, aside from maybe aristocracy or plutocracy, depending on what sort of faction you're playing. But somewhere in like the first 100 years, I frequently end up at like 999.
Yeah.
It's quite insane.
Well, that's happened to me with the military stuff, and I think what I'm going to do next time I play a nation that I'm not, if it's a first timer, so I don't know exactly how the flow is going to go. And of course, you can't predict exactly what's going to happen with your ruler,
Right?
Unless I'm doing something like Portugal and I want instantaneous colonization. I think I'm going to bank my level 4 idea group and not pick it right away, and wait to see how my technology group goes. And then the first technology that starts to get way, way ahead, and I'm starting to bank a lot of points, that's the idea group I'm going to get, and just start sinking a bunch of points into there, just so that I don't waste. I mean, there's nothing worse than paying 50% more for a technology than you have to. That's brutal. But
So,
yeah, I'm an admin guy.
So we're back. It's about 20 minutes past the first hour.
Right.
And we're going to go into your prediction from earlier on, saying that the first big wars are going to start appearing in the second hour.
Well, I think everyone just overextended so
like
much the first time. They decided 5 minutes in, let's go and have a world war. And now everyone's in debt. They've got no manpower. No one feels comfortable doing anything. I mean, we're still seeing little skirmishes.
Yeah, yeah. And there's peasant uprisings everywhere, except in Denmark.
Now, what's interesting is that first war, I really think was quite legitimate. Everyone had certain plans. It was very much World War I. This is going to be an easy, short war. I'm going to get something simple out of it, and it'll be no problem. And I think it kind of blew up beyond that. I still think we might see another massive, massive war break out when we've got a few minutes left.
That was the next one.
That was the next one. Novgorod would have been fun. I still haven't played as Novgorod.
I have.
Yeah?
Yes.
Is it scary?
It is very scary with a very scary Muscovy right there.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But for those people that just tuned in, welcome for the stream. We're here in Cologne doing some commentary on an EU4 game. For those people that don't know what a Europa Universalis 4 is, it is the latest game by Paradox Interactive. And we're doing all sorts of awesome stuff. We have 8 people playing here today. We've got Portugal, we've got Austria, we've got Hungary, England, Denmark, Bohemia, Venice, and Poland. We flew in 3 people that won our Call to Arms campaign. One guy managed to get the Call to Arms. They managed to get 100 people signed up in 7 minutes.
That's what I heard. Now that's freaky.
Flat, and they weren't even mailbots. So we were just like, all right, sure, why not?
Now you must have known this campaign was about to start. You can't just round up that many people on the fly.
Well,
apparently.
I don't know. Just,
Can you explain
Wow.
to us? Can you explain to us how that worked?
You sent spam, right? Some sort of phishing email.
I saw it and I was like, okay, so yeah, I can definitely win this. And it was like, it seemed very possible. So I went to my Steam group and I went to my YouTube page and I just posted the link and then I expected the best and worked out.
Fair enough.
Thanks everyone who voted for me.
Ah, there you go. Thank you who voted for me too.
Well, I mean, this is obviously one of the coolest gaming events ever. I mean,
Right.
can you imagine that? I don't know how many other games have ever tried to do something like this, where we're going to fly a bunch of you guys out for a pool multiplayer game. Some people from quite far away too.
It was one of the rewards. It was one of the rewards was like we were doing a Kickstarter where you say give us $1,000, you could have dinner with Johan or something like that. We just said. Give us 100. Get 100 people to sign up, and we'll fly you in. At least the first 3 guys, and that's exactly what we did. So they're here in Cologne right now, and they're definitely having quite an experience. We've got a French guy right here. His name is
Leviat.
Leviat. He's playing as Poland, and we wanted to put him as England. It's then we have the Prussian Prince playing.
That's Venice.
As Venice,
and doing okay, recovering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you feeling there, Prince?
Yeah, in the game.
Unstable, yeah. All right.
I mean, really, Austria should strike now.
Exactly. Austria, strike. And then, of course, Diplex playing as Bohemia. How are you doing there, buddy?
I'm doing good. Seeing about getting Silesia there under my coat, and then I don't know what we'll do actually.
It was
so many small German states to the left to
right.
pick out targets.
Do you have any designs on the Emperor's seat right now, or are you mostly playing the military game?
I haven't really paid any attention to it because I think I don't know. I have no idea how it works. I mean,
Well,
I've gotten a lot of people to vote for me.
Tell you what we'll do. We'll go over towards the HRE screen. So there's the Holy Roman Empire screen. Currently, Friedrich III of Austria is the emperor. And basically how this works is there are electors. There are big electors, and there is princes. So right now there are 7 electors, which is the maximum amount of electors that could be in the game. Now, basically what you could do is you could influence all of these factions and say, hey, Austria, like those guys are cool and all, but I'm much cooler. Like you should vote me to be emperor.
And what I like is if you mouse over any of the shields of the nations, they will tell you exactly why they like you, how much they like you, and why they like the other guy, how much they like him, and then you can see if there's some way you can attack. Either improve your relationship, or is there a way that you can worsen, well, generally Austria. I mean, Austria is the default emperor. And the emperors do rule until they die.
Yes.
It's only on death that there's an election.
Exactly. There's actually one idea group in the game, which is espionage, which is very, very good for the Holy Roman Empire. Basically, what you can do is you could go, ooh, the Bohemia University. Interesting. But basically what you can do is you could say, this guy over here, I want to damage his diplomatic reputation. And so basically what you could say is, you know what, people shouldn't like him all that much. I'm going to send one of my diplomats over who is also a spy and basically ruin his reputation with other people. So they will actually vote for you.
Oh, Venice is... Look at Venice.
Hold on. Hold on, Venice.
Oh, what happened to Venice?
Venice is gone.
Is that rebellion?
Oh, Venice is still there, but Ferreira has taken everything.
And it's got religious rebels. Now, was this a war thing, or is this rebellion? Rebellions, yeah. And there is the problem with overextension. You know, you win the war, you feel great, and then not so much. But at least you're not overextended anymore.
It's the Dr. Doom principle. Winning the war for global conquest is easy. Administration, that is the difficult part. Although I don't even think that was Dr. Doom. Dr. Doom is actually quite good as soon as he wins his wars.
Oh, absolutely. He ruled his country very well.
What was it called? I can't even remember. What is it? Guys, what is the name of Dr. Doom's country?
It sounds like Latvia and Livonia and something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
But not real.
Cities are called like Doomburg and
Doomburg. Because any sane ruler names places after himself.
Oh no,
right?
look at Venice.
Oh,
Venice,
no,
Venice. Oh no. Just let it happen. Just convert.
Just become Catholic.
I'm surprised they're not Catholic already. What happened? How are they not Catholic?
They should be Catholic. Oh right. So they're Orthodox.
Oh my gosh.
That makes no sense.
So we've got an Orthodox Poland and an Orthodox, for now, Venice, although they're about to flip back. They're about to see the one true way, of course. They're right next to the Pope.
And again, guys, the games start historically, but from there on, it is pure Harry Turtledove material right there. It can go anywhere.
Yeah, even the AI left to itself, but when you involve the players, it's so much worse.
I was looking at your videos, the time lapses. They're really fun.
Oh, they're
to
quite
watch.
fun, yeah.
Yeah. And we actually do those at the office as well. We call them overnights.
Yes.
So basically, what we do is that we put a game on, we go home, and the next day we come back and see what happened. So we can actually look at how the game mechanics do, and then over time, over a period of 18 months or whatever the development time of the game is, we can see, oh.
Oh, now that's cold.
Oh.
Is that Austria?
That is, yeah.
That's true. Austria can reincorporate all that territory back into the HRE now.
Good times. But we actually have quite a lot. We got a couple guys from the development studio here as well. We got Linda, who is currently one of the studio managers. We got Jacob, who is brand management. We got Johan, of course, who is the studio manager. He's the big guy, the man who makes it all happen. Together with Thomas. Thomas has most of the awesome stuff going on there because he's an awesome guy and he's the project lead on this one. Then we have we got Ola, who is. Were you responsible for a big chunk of March of the Eagles, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There you go. So for people that like March of the Eagles, there's tons of you out there. He is exactly. We actually did a couple of multiplayer sessions on stream with March of the Eagles as well, and it was quite fun.
Oh, I missed those.
It was basically one of the guys in the press referred to it as a knife fight in a phone booth. Yeah,
very close quarters. What's the time span on that? It's very short compared to most Paradox. 10 years?
It's like 20 years, 30 years. It's super 15 even. There you go. It's the Napoleonic Wars. So it's 1805 to 1820.
And the whole situation is set up as a powder keg.
Yes.
Right from the beginning.
It's coalitions versus coalition. It's one of the few games in the Paradox portfolio that has full-on objectives, because a game that short needs objectives. You need something to work to. And that's very, very important when it comes to those sort of games.
But Hearts of Iron would be the only other real example that comes to mind.
Well, yeah, basically. It's like, conquer Russia. Sure, why not?
Yeah, sure.
With communist United States.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as you do.
As you do. It happens sometimes.
So it looks like Venice has no longer has rebels. I assume they're Catholic. Yeah, they are.
Venice, do you have your vassals still?
He's trying to convert Crete. Corfu and Naxos.
Yeah, okay. So Corfu is still okay. So you're okay until the Ottomans come. All right.
It doesn't look like you have a navy either. Oh no, there it is. Okay, in the outliner. Okay, you're fine.
Yeah, but they're galleys and cogs. They're not trade ships.
Those are trade ships.
Oh yeah, they're barks. Yeah, that's true.
The second fleet is all barks. You're okay. Now, one of the interesting things, I see the barks are all in one big group, and I believe there's a diminishing return on the trade power. What are we looking at here?
Bohemia has taken Neumark.
Whoa.
Take Palmeria as well. How's your overextension doing?
Oh, it's at 0 at the moment because I just got my course.
Nice.
So you're sitting pretty.
I keep forgetting where I go, so it's like my
you have
car at home, finding my underwear.
You have the crown.
I go through everything before I find them.
Nobody's going to like you
There
because
we
of
are.
this.
Right.
Yeah, I'm still hoping for the toolbar, all those numbers at the top, I'm hoping they turn into buttons so we can click on the stability and go to the screen and find out why is it negative and horrible. I'm actually quite surprised. You're at negative stability, but you have no risk of rebellion.
No, me?
It's Bohemia.
Minus.
Oh, okay. It's cut off on the screen up here.
Yeah, I had no casus belli here for these guys, but what the hell? I can take that. So.
It's what, a -2 penalty, I believe, for that?
Yeah, I was a 3. I've been
How were you at a 3 stability? You must have gotten a lot of events. Now, so are you investing administrative points, or are you just getting lucky on events? Really? So even with the +50 and +100%, you feel it's worthwhile? I mean, certainly the tax income is amazing because it's an extra 10%. Okay. Yeah, so before the cost increased, I was always going to +3 when I was playing the beta, review copy, demo, that sort of thing. And then I got scared off by that extra +50%, but the +2 is certainly very tempting, unless I'm saving up for something that requires a specific tech level. I think I just missed the declaration of war message. Oh, no, siege is over.
Utrecht has declared war on Burgundy and taking
Utrecht has declared.
My gosh, that is a lot of striped yellow.
Utrecht's doing quite well, actually.
Very good.
They managed to take Osnabrück and Gelre.
Now, Utrecht can form the Netherlands, can it?
No, the Netherlands become an uprising event.
Uprising.
Basically, what happens is somewhere the Dutch peasants uprise, and you have, if you're playing as Burgundy, you have the option to form the Netherlands. But basically, you cede all the cores that are from France to France, and you continue to play as Burgundy, as the Netherlands.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah. So basically,
I haven't seen that happen in any of my games yet.
That's why you should, if you're ever playing as Burgundy, you should only invest money and time and resources
to the east,
to the Dutch, the Low Countries, basically. So any of the North stuff, because all the South is going to get ceded to the French sooner or later, unless you repress the revolters.
Which involves fighting off tons and tons of rebels.
Oh yeah.
Oh. How about you help me regain my lost territory? Aww.
That's cute.
We don't have a whole lot of pity for these guys.
No, of course not. It's EU4. History is brutal.
It really is.
History is quite brutal.
Dog eat dog.
We stand. The reason why we have why we have a stable European Union is because we stand amongst the dust of millions of people dying before us. We're living in the most peaceful period of European history in the last 60 years.
I suppose that's true. As a Canadian, the idea of like all this war on my home soil is just what? I mean, yeah, there was a little scuffle with the Americans once. And
well, like 1812, towards the White House. Even though you weren't technically Canadians at that point.
No, well, no, not technically. And before then, our parents were fighting over us. England and France. There was a divorce. It was ugly.
To be fair, Canada did technically not exist till 1982.
Yeah, it's a very fuzzy kind of area.
Until it got
because it was all in bits and pieces. The way I say it, like the Americans, they had this big war for independence. They fought, they got that, and Canadians were looking at that and said, well, that looks kind of nice. Could we maybe have a little? Fine, all right, we'll give you a little bit of independence, and then a
over
little
the
more.
years,
Yeah.
exactly. And the Constitution was being held in London.
And 1 year it's like, well, we made a flag. Oh, that's cute.
Yes.
Yeah, keep
Well,
working on that.
Anything, England will always be like, oh, you got a flag, eh? Well,
Yeah.
that means you can make colonies.
That's right.
You got a flag? No? Well, no, it's not yours now, is it?
No flag, no country.
Exactly.
Everyone loves Eddie Izzard references.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do still think his Death Star references are the best one.
They're
You
fantastic.
gotta have a tray. There's a war.
You know who I am.
Okay, I see a
I
war.
think there's more than one war. Because this is the war we were looking at before, the War of Bohemian Aggression, 100% war score. He's just doing a little shopping.
Yeah.
Poland and Hungary. Now that's a good one. Wait. Aren't you guys supposed to be bros?
Oh, right.
Oh, that's
so
right.
It's a
It's
religious
religious.
war.
This is all good and fine until the Ottomans show up and ruin everything.
Yeah, everybody's fun is ruined as soon as the Ottomans arrive.
Actually, I think the Ottomans have already annexed someone.
Yeah, I think they've already taken Bosnia. In my current game, where I've got Germany, the Ottomans have actually taken the whole of Poland all the way up to the Baltic. So they're basically all the way up. Nice, congratulations.
Hey, we're neighbors. You don't want to be neighbors with him. You've done a horrible, horrible thing. So how did we see the war? If we've just moved away from it?
Well, we're back on towards Bohemia, so they're neighbors now.
Not much action here going on, but
What
it's like this is going on though.
Oh.
So Poland's pretty backed up.
Yes, and you're moving an additional 13,000 troops to sort things out.
Now, are there any other alliances involved here, or is it
Yeah.
just a one-on-one?
Could you go to your war screen for that one?
It's very many against one.
Very many against
Very-
That's what everyone likes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why fight fair?
But bash them where they're down. I'm just waiting for Lithuania to come in and sweep up the pieces. Oh my God! Look at that! Look at that Lithuania right there.
That's a lot of sieges happening all at
That's a
once.
lot of siege with very small armies, and that's probably the most efficient way of doing it. To be fair.
Yeah, as long as you can watch your front, because, and in fact, even the AI's gotten very good at this, is keeping that kind of hunter-seeker group kicking around. And all of a sudden,
Hunter-seeker group.
yeah,
Wow! Did we just transport into its Terminator universe?
yeah, absolutely. So it's some sort of automatic seeking missile of 10 to 12 troops to just come up and clean up all your sieges.
Yeah, I know. I've been encountering those as well, and it's all of a sudden it's even more annoying when your army is running away and they'll chase after you.
Oh yeah, no,
Payback time for Poland.
Well,
the AI has certainly gotten vicious here.
Meanwhile, in Denmark,
Everything is cool,
Denmark's allied with Bohemia
and he is sitting at +3
and
stability.
declared on war on Poland.
Austria's joining in.
Austria's declared war on Poland.
Wait, oh, this is not even joining the war. This is just a new war with no CB.
As you do.
Although that battle's
Meanwhile,
not
in
gonna go
Venice.
Oh, poor Venice.
Poor Venice.
And how's Portugal? We haven't looked into Portugal in quite some time.
Portugal, how are you doing?
That's right. We don't have a screen. That's why.
You have 2 provinces back. Are you kicking out the Moroccans? The Portuguese expansion will have to wait for a little bit longer.
That's okay. No one else is going to be expanding out there anytime soon. I believe I saw a few wars go up for Castile at some point, so they're
Right.
mostly keeping busy. And if Castile decides to get involved in North Africa, then they're not going to be colonizing for ages. Oh, someone said Hungary lied to me.
Hungary.
There's hurt feelings happening.
It's funny, though, because the guy who plays Hungary, he actually lives in the Paradox Interactive building. Now, this sounds extremely dodgy.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, well, basically, the office building, the office is in one of the tallest buildings in the city, and we're on the 23rd floor of a 25-floor building. He lives on the 16th floor or something like that. So
he doesn't live in the office, like under his desk.
No, he does not live on the couch, basically. Although that would be kind of sad. I have considered this in the past. I live like 7-minute walk from the office.
Well, that's pretty nice too.
that's me.
All right, so Hungary, have you lost anything yet? To me, to you. Bohemia's growing.
But that's only one war.
Well, they've got
hope he doesn't come back from war.
they've got 30 minutes. Let's put it that way.
Oh, that is a lot of mercenaries. Now, that's one of the things I don't tend to make much use of when I play. These mercenaries. I'm always like, oh, they cost more. I don't want to bother with that. But I think it's a mistake, actually. I think I've got to start to accept that mercenaries are an important part of the game.
It's very important to realize that the loan system and mercenaries go hand in hand.
Right.
Because
just instant emergency troops.
Exactly. They don't add up towards your manpower, but they do
go against your force limit.
Yeah.
So you can't use it to make a larger than normal army, but you can use it to quickly recover an army that's been lost.
Exactly. Well, you can always make a larger than normal army. It's going to cost you very dearly. Oh, Hungary, why are you running away? He just wants to have a hug. Poland just wants a hug.
Oh no, there's no way to escape that one.
He's gonna
that's
go.
Not gonna work.
There
no.
it is, and it's in the hills as well. Oh, look at that leaders. Oh my God, Hungary's leader is doing badly. Some decent rolls though.
That was close, actually. That was very close.
Crash him! Crash him to goo!
He's locked in place.
Yeah, he's got basically what happens if your morale drops too low, you can't move your troops. When I first started playing the game, I was playing as Utrecht because I'm a Dutchman and jingoism is kind of was cool back in the day because I was playing Hearts Iron. So I was playing.
You're trying
Utrecht.
to preemptively deal with things.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see how it goes.
So I'm there. I'm trying to move my troops, but they won't move. So I was like, what's going on? Like, oh, well, your troops have no morale. Well, how the hell do I fix that? Well, you put up your sliders, but that costs money. It's like, why?
I don't like to spend money on things.
Exactly.
No.
This is not a good thing. However, in the end, I never played with Utrecht ever again and went for decent nations like Austria and Ming. And
now,
the Aztecs.
One of the things with this view, if you haven't played EU4, it can look very dire because the entire eastern half of this nation has been occupied. But there really is a practical limit to how many provinces you can take in one fell blow. In fact, the most painful thing here is probably just losing your army outright.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't even add that much to the war score after the first few defeats, and it's mostly just rubbing salt in the wounds.
It's basically a lost generation effect that goes on there because you lose all your manpower,
which can take 10 years to rebuild.
Exactly. And it's just, and in that time you're going to need to use mercenaries, which are extremely expensive.
Yeah.
And your manpower, like I said, it's a lost generation. I still think it should impact production in some sort of way because,
I mean, to a certain extent, it indirectly does it in that it costs so much money that you're going to be delaying your buildings, increase your tax base and your production. Yeah. And you're probably going to be forced to spend a few more points on certain decisions to, say, fend off rebels, for example.
But this is the 15th century, so true conscription is not really,
It's almost like maybe there should be a button that increases your manpower recovery rate at the cost of production.
Maybe. Oh, that sounds like something that we would put in Victoria.
Yes, it does. And you want to avoid any of that extra complexity, extra buttons whenever you can. They always sound interesting. People always want more when they're playing a game.
Hungary is getting annihilated. The military, Poland. The thing is, though, our video producer guy, the guy that does our video, if you've seen the Jazz Boatman videos for Leviathan, he is in love with anything involving Victoria. He will spend days playing that game, and he's really, really good at it as well. And he came into the company playing that game. And to be fair, it's an awesome game.
It's a fantastic game.
It's very complex. But
not as accessible as, say, CK2 or even EU4. EU4 appears to have a lot of complexity, but it's transparent complexity.
Exactly. It's a full-on simulation of how a demand and supply chain would work. Like you go out into the world, you conquer these places to get resources. So you can do A, which means you can do B, which means you can do C, etc., etc. So there's all these giant supply chains going on, while at the same time it's the 19th century, and all the great powers are starting to form, like Prussia and France and England.
Yeah, it's the tail end of colonization, the introduction of industrialization and globalization to a certain extent, the nationalism movements.
There's still a lot of imperialism going on.
Certainly. And then the differing ideologies as being the cause of war.
Exactly.
Democracies grouping together, fascism coming up. Even anarchy was considered to be a perfectly valid and reasonable political viewpoint at the time.
There was a very strong anarchist movement in the UK, from what I understand. Is that?
Yeah, it rings a bell. Anarchy in the UK. Yeah, sounds familiar.
Yeah, well, that's kind of more like the 1960s. You're probably thinking of 10%. All right.
But I know that, well, I guess a little bit later, I'm thinking now, Hearts of Iron, one of the things that was during the Spanish Civil War, there were the two sides, and one of the sides, the Republican side, which lost, they were sort of a conglomerate of multiple different political ideologies, including anarchists. And potentially that sort of mix of, that heterogeneous mix of politics was one of the reasons they didn't potentially do quite as well as the very unified, more fascist side.
Poland is allied with a bunch of people.
Is it? But they're not at war.
Poland, can you zoom in a little bit? All right, so these are his alliances, which is one ally, which is the one they're actually, you know, in a union with. And Poland is an Orthodox kingdom. And you've got an uprising of what?
I don't recognize it. Oh, peasants. That's a pitchfork.
Yeah, right. So they want lower taxes. That's not a problem.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but are peasants not the easiest ones to crush as well? Maybe weakest leaders, weakest.
No, you definitely want to crush them because taxes.
Yeah, no, we don't want to put down taxes.
Exactly.
Clearly,
it's a bad thing. But he's managed to take Danzig, which is obviously should be part of Brandenburg, and not of this. I hear Denmark laugh. I'm quickly going to pop over and see what they're doing. Denmark, what are you doing?
Currently at war with
England. How are you doing?
Oh, we haven't checked in England for a while. Still has Co. Still has Calais.
Oh, the King of Burgundy has died. And who gets the inheritance? All right.
Do we have to wait for someone to accept?
It's going to be
Austria.
Beast mode Austria. Gelre. What the hell is Gelre doing? Oh, Utrecht. My God.
The only thing with this, it does make those awfully ugly borders.
Yeah.
Austria starts little white blobs all over the place. Clearly, you're going to have to unify all that.
Yeah, definitely. Like ugly borders, we need to. I've actually gone the war just because I think the borders are ugly.
Well, one of the issues with this, of course, is if you do have problems with rebellions or even war, then you're going to have to sign all these military access agreements just to be able to get your troops somewhere relevant.
Exactly.
Very frustrating.
But ugly borders, that's basically synonymous with the Holy Roman Empire. That's kind of the point.
It's like a patchwork quilt made by someone who couldn't see.
It's like a blind quilter.
Yes. Exactly like that.
A blind quilter with two left hands. If there's any blind quilters listening right now, we apologize.
Yeah, it's kind of big.
PR is waving at me right now.
My God, this is an important demographic. Don't upset them.
the blind quilters.
But yeah, I mean, the HRE definitely looks like a big, ugly mess. You know, that's why it's important to create the
Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah,
or Germany
as an
Russia.
alternative. Oh, that's true. Yeah. Or Ulm. Just one giant Ulm.
Ulm, yeah, you got to get that casus belli.
It'd be a little rough.
Yeah. In the meantime, Bohemia is easily doing the best of all the nations on the map.
Yeah, that's a lot of mustard yellow spreading around.
Yeah.
And they're not really getting punished for it.
They've taken up Brandenburg are they losing Stettin? Oh, yeah.
Now, as much as I like the new aggressive expansion system, there's something to be said about looking at the toolbar and just seeing that one bad boy number, the one infamy number, to tell you exactly kind of what's going on. Because you can't do that now. You've got to check your neighbors and see what the relationship is.
Bohemia has taken over Brandenburg.
Yeah, the suckers declared war on me.
But wait, what?
Yeah, and then they brought in.
Well, that was pretty stupid.
That's pretty stupid from.
Magdeburg, a ton of people joined in.
Okay, that is a lot.
Yeah.
A ton of people left me meanwhile.
You think the Zollnerns would be better than that?
Yes.
But Denmark.
helped fight.
Denmark's an ally. Johan's a good guy.
Honorable Denmark.
But now I'm.
So right now, how many points do you have, Bohemia?
As in. Top right?
Top right.
It's actually 29.
29.
Gaining anything lately.
Denmark, how are you doing? 19. Portugal, how many points do you have?
Oh! Wow. Despite losing that territory in Morocco.
What is your
trade power.
Must be it. Or the what ranking are you on 10. That's not bad. Hungary, what's your points? Wow, Bohemia is actually doing pretty terrible.
Yeah,
It's short term, but
True.
long term it's
And that is a problem. I find it's very easy to grow your borders early on.
Yes.
And then find out that you haven't necessarily gotten as far ahead as you thought.
No, because you need to integrate all of them.
You do that, you've fallen behind in tech, and then 50 years later, it comes and bites you in the ass.
It's such a better way to just vassalize them and then diplomatic annex them later on.
It takes so much longer, but is worthwhile. You get the cores, you don't get as many rebellions, you're not messing around with things. And meanwhile, you're getting half their taxes, and it costs you not very much. You don't have to pay for their army maintenance. You don't get control over their troops, which is certainly a downside. But I've really become a fan of vassalizing and then diplomatic later on.
Absolutely. I completely agree. It's either that or the royal marriage setup. In the meantime, hello,